You know, all this semi-recent controversy about H3H3 and how he's gone downhill. He used to be cool, and now I still watch his podcast because it's still making $200,000 an episode, but I wish he still did the videos. Let's break that down. It really reminds me of this self-help principle that's called success is hard to attain and fleeting once you attain it. Which is, I don't know how hard H3H3 worked to get to the position that he is. I don't know much about the guy. It's just he's got a double chin and wears a beanie a lot. But that's pretty much 70% of what I know about him. But after watching his previous videos where he was clearly putting a lot of research into, paying out videos on Facebook that went viral, I guess. But the point is that he did an academic amount of research on it, or some level of effort into the editing of it, to thinking about jokes to put into it. That was what people got hooked on. Then he stopped that and then moved to doing low effort, zero research podcasts, which is fine. I do exactly the same thing, and on a way less successful scale. But that is in addition to my main channel, which is Friendly Geordies. Check it out. And as a result of that, what is actually happening in that scenario, and these videos as well, by the way, it's very ironic that I'm sitting here, which is like in a hotel room going, he's not putting in enough effort. Did you even shower today? No. It's 12 o'clock. But the thing is that, most of the people here, it's 12 o'clock. Jesus, that's like 6 a.m. to me because I smoke a lot of weed. But he got rid of the thing that made him big. Essentially. Now he's started to reintroduce those videos and now everyone's like, yes, my boy's back. But he's lost a lot of goodwill as a result of relying on something that was more profitable in the short term and was much easier to do. Because that is the natural inclination of human beings. What are they? Lazy and self-interested. So they try and do It's only natural to do this, to do the bare amount of effort to get by in life. So if you're noticing that you're making $200,000 a podcast, you're going to sit there and go, well, why am I even doing these videos that are way less profitable and take way more time? Of course I'm going to do that. And that's logical for the short term. But in terms of long-term thinking, obviously people are going to get tired of that. They're going to get annoyed by it because they're used to that quality level of product. And you're just going, instead, here's this, money please. They're not going to like it. Essentially, what life is all about is actually figuring out how to expend more effort. This is what the most successful people in every field have figured out to do. Obviously, they're the CEOs of their companies now, these mega multi-billionaire things like Amazon or something like that. But they're making more quality decisions and delegating the lower decisions to people down the chain. But in essence, they're putting in more effort and they're harnessing the effort of more people. That is the natural order of things. But then you see a lot of people, and you see this over and over again with YouTubers, where they got a quick amount of success, usually from something that they decided, something that just went viral and was not really part of their grand plan. They just released that video, and for some bizarre reason, everyone, I do put my hair like that. And they get a huge amount of success. And then they go to your VidCons and things, and they have a bunch of 12-year-olds going, oh my God! And they get very lazy and complacent and think no one else has ever done a viral video before. I am digital God. I am AI. And so they get into that mindset, and what happens is that mindset becomes complacent. It's the same thing that when guys get really successful with women that weren't successful before, and then they start picking up at the club and they realize that it's pretty easy. You just walk up and go, hey baby, oh no you don't want this, what about this one? Yes. They realize after a while they don't even have to brush their teeth. You can walk into one of those clubs practically homeless. If they let you through the door, you could walk in with like sardine cans as your shoes and plastic garbage bags as your pants, not even wearing a shirt. You will pick up some really low self-esteem chick. That will happen. It's the same with this. There's always going to be an audience for that laziness, but the original core audience that got used to that product is going to hate the fact that that product declined. Now, how does that apply to your life? All of life is about acknowledging these 2 points. First of all, if you gain success very quickly, congratulations for you, but that is a fluke. You have to expend energy to continue that trajectory. And in fact, even if you do attain success quickly, what happens is you will just go anyway, even if you do exert the energy. But if you just go, it'll just go. If all your videos are pretty much as lazy as that one was. In any aspect of your life, you will notice that over the long period of time, obviously there's people that are outliers to this, but over the long period of time, those that are continually thinking about how they can be more effective, more efficient, exert more energy, are the ones that get more and more successful in life. Over the long term, these little victories build up. If you don't do that, you stagnate. At a very minimum, you stagnate. Usually it's just a sharp drop. But at the very least, if you just sit there and you're like, yeah, I'm on easy street now. I've got exactly what I want out of life, a job. What happens is, there's no such thing as actually just stagnating over a long period of time. Eventually, you start declining. It is a slow, gradual decline for most people as well. And this happens with every aspect of their life, not just career, for their health, their fitness, their relationships. All of these things start to decline because they don't bother to notice the decline of it and figure out how to fix it, and they're not figuring out how to put more into it. There's a really good quote that Tony Robbins always has of all these people that always come up to him. And he's got this measurement of how things in life work out, which is, it's, you know, obviously it's just a hoarded truism. But I'm going to repeat it to you regardless. Here we go. So, anyone who is doing a bad job, right, they get fired instantly. Out there in a second, unless you work at a video store, but those things don't exist anymore. And how could you fuck that up? You sat there and watched movies and then looked really sassy when someone said, "Can I get Toy Story?" So that was hard to be bad at. But maybe there was people that just set DVD things on fire and went, "I don't know, I thought that they were anti-retarded." But they weren't. So, if you're good, what happens is you get bad results in life. And this is a common thing that he's constantly saying to people that come up to him and say, "I got divorced from my wife. I was a good husband." To which he says, "And that's exactly the problem. You were a good husband." Because it's always this thing of like, no matter how much effort you put in, the result that you get in return to that effort is going to be less. That's why you have to keep building it, so it goes bit, 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 and building up. So, if you do an excellent job, you get good results. And if you do an outstanding job, i.e. you're the leader of your field, that's where all the reward is. It's the thing that Jordan Peterson's always talking about. I can't even remember the guy that originally came up with it. It's a very old point, but 80% of success in life is the result of 20% of people in every field. Even in the economy, it's always just about 20% of the population controls 80% of the wealth. Now that is completely out of context now, because now I think it's like the top 0.001% of the population controls 90% of the wealth, and that's the natural order of things, and you shouldn't do anything about it. Imagine me saying that on this channel, then looking at Friendly Geordies. That's when you get those long comments on Reddit being like, "Friendly Geordies, he's a sellout." Deal with it. No, obviously that is a result. But again, why is that happening? Because they're exerting more effort and getting lobbyists and entire countries to work in harnessing wealth into their pockets. Because they've gotten to that position in their life and they haven't stopped working. If you had stopped working, you just end up being one of those dudes that writes a book going, "This is how you work 4 hours a week and sleep on a hammock the rest of your life. How good does that sound? Being a sloth, a human sloth. That's a good existence." That's the other thing that's really good as well, is the fact that if you're perpetually engaged, what happens through life is you become more intelligent, you become more healthy, you become a more glorious version of yourself by the time that you're 70, because you've just got years and years of experience and hard work to show for it. If you just start declining, that's when you start getting your H3H3 7 chins. That is a real good indication of it. If you have a bunch of double chins, you're not doing enough effort. So, with him, now that he's put his videos back, yes, he's probably going to get that goodwill back, but people are always going to remember that he was lazy about that. It's a blight on his record. Don't let that happen to you. If you are exerting a certain amount of energy and you've received success for it, that is not an indication that you can rest on your laurels. If you rest on your laurels, you will start to decline. What you need to do is figure out how to exert more energy. So, this is your homework. In all of the 5 fields, so health, fitness, relationships, career. 4 fields, whatever. I always say 5 fields and then I go, spirituality? Yeah, maybe even spirituality if you're Christian, but not any of the other religions because they're clearly wrong. Getting into the Hillsong market. So those 4, health, fitness, relationships, career. I want you to write those down and I want you to really think about it. Where were you last year in relation to where you are now? Have you improved or have you gotten worse? If you've gotten worse, it's time to build some fences, to mend the fence. Because it's just so removed from Australia. Time to build fences, mend the fence, and then you have to obviously improve it from there, because that is the key to life. It is a constant thing of figuring out how to get better at something. That is how you even repair things in the first place. It's the same as when you're fat. It's harder for you to get to square one where you're fit as opposed to someone who just isn't fit to start getting fit, because they have to first of all traverse back to the point where they're at neutral starting point, and then they have to build from there. So figure out where you are. That's your homework. Have a good week.